Hello my dear students, today we are going to continue our lesson about thermal energy and heat by discussing how we transfer the heat. So, yesterday we discussed what is heat and what is thermal energy and how they are related with temperature, and today we are going to discuss the effects of heat on other materials and how we are transferring the heat. Okay. I would like to repeat what is temperature, what is thermal energy, and what is heat again before I begin my lesson now. Remember the temperature. Temperature is related with the average kinetic energy of the particles. Don't forget, it is the average kinetic energy of the particles. So each particles in each substance have a certain movement, and kinetic energy is related with the motion of the particles, the movement of the particles. So when we calculate the average kinetic energy, we will find the temperature of the substance. Most of the time we measure the temperature by using the degree of Celsius, but we have different types of measurements, remember, like Fahrenheit or Kelvin scale. So you can see Celsius scale, Fahrenheit scale, or Kelvin scale for measuring the temperature. But in general, for example, in our region in Turkey, we always use the Celsius. And what is thermal energy? It is the total kinetic energy of all particles in the substance. It is not the average, it is the total kinetic energy. It is the type of energy, okay? Temperature is a measure of energy. It is not a type of energy, but thermal energy is a type of energy. It is measured in joules, not in Celsius. Don't forget. Thermal energy is measured in joules. Okay, and it is shown as this capital J. Remember our example from the first session? A glass of water can have the same temperature with a lake, but lake will have more particles. That's why it will have more thermal energy. Okay, they may have the same average kinetic energy. That's why they may have the same temperature, but because their total number of particles, total number of water molecules are different, lake will have more thermal energy. Okay, then what is heat? Heat is the energy transferred from an object to another object, and this energy transfer always flows from hot to cold, from higher temperature to lower temperature. That's why when you are next to fire, you will get warmer in time, right? Because the energy from fire will transfer towards your body from hot to cold. Okay, so heat is also a form of energy, and it is measured in calories. The unit that we use for measurement of heat is calorie. Okay, but because it is also a form of energy, it can also be measured by joules. 1 calorie is equal to 4.18 joules. Okay? We can use both of these measurements for heat. But just remember the units, the important units like calorie, joule, and the heat is an energy. The thermal energy is a form of energy, but temperature is a form of measurement of energy. It is not a type of energy. Okay, these are the main topics that is from the yesterday. So, how heat can affect the state of an object. Today we are going to discuss first how heat can affect the state of an object. So, the state of an object, substance, depends on the speed of its particles. We say that particles are always moving, right? So in solids, the particles are stacked together, and made a demonstration in the classroom. Maybe you can remember when we are talking about temperature, we made a demonstration. I told you that imagine that you and your friends are particles. If you are stuck together, if you are close to each other, and your movement will be not that much because there is no space, and because you will move slower. So this is the characteristics of a solid. And if you are moving faster, if you are able to move faster when your temperature, when your kinetic energy is getting higher, when you are taking more energy as particles, of course. So when the particles inside the substance is taking more energy, what will happen? What we are expecting to happen? The speed of the particles will increase. So they will start to move more. They will slide away from each other. So it is how the change of states takes place. As a result of this process, as a result of rising the temperature or gaining heat, a solid can turn into liquid. And if I increase the temperature more, if I increase the energy of the particles more, I will be able to turn the liquid into gas, because the particles will want to move faster, so they will separate from each other. It will break the bonds between the particles and between the molecules, and they will start to evaporate into gas. So gas particles will move faster and they will move away from each other. Okay, from this example you can understand that adding energy in the form of heat to a substance can result in a change of state from solid to liquid or liquid to gas. Removing energy can result in a change of state. How? If I remove the energy of the gas particles, they will turn into liquid. If I remove more energy, the liquid particles will turn into solid, because they will lose energy, they will lose their kinetic energy. Okay, they will lose their ability to move. Let's see this example here. So the gas stove can give energy to its surroundings. It is giving off heat. So the ice has less energy than its surroundings, right? So energy moves into the ice. And from the fire here, what will happen next? The energy transferred from the flame here to the ice increases the average kinetic energy of water particles in the ice. The added kinetic energy starts to break the bonds between the water particles in the ice, and water particles can start to slide over each other rather than being locked together. So ice will start to melt. See here. This is the normal particles of ice. When I add heat, these bonds will start to break up and the ice will start to melt. Energy continues to move into the ice. Eventually all the bonds that hold the water particles together as a solid are broken, and water particles can move freely over each other. The state of water has changed from solid to liquid as a result of this heat transfer. You can test this experiment by yourself, just putting some ice on a stove and see the change of state by the heat. Okay, just remember that particles in all substances have a motion, even though they are in solid form, but their movement their speed will change with the heat, with more energy. So if I add more energy, I'm also increasing the kinetic energy. When I'm increasing the kinetic energy, actually I am increasing the speed of the particles. So when I increase the speed of the particles, I am also changing the state, or I can also change the state of matter from solid to liquid or liquid to gas. When I decrease the energy of particles, I will be able to change the state from gas to liquid or liquid to solid. Okay, that's enough for today, I guess. Tomorrow we will continue with different types of transfer of heat, and you can check page 127 to see how change of state takes place with changing energy for revision of this lesson. Thank you very much. See you in the next session.